Hey everybody, good evening. Okay, I just want to check the mic here. So if anybody's on, can you let me know if you can hear me okay? It looks like it's spiking quite a bit, so I don't know if it's the wind hitting the microphone, but I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. Okay, a little wind, maybe that'll help. Put my hood on, tried to block the mic a little bit. Maybe I'll turn down. Definitely seems to be picking something up, so I just want to make sure it's not too distracting for you guys. I could always try to switch to my mic and clip it on my chest here. So let me know if you're getting a bunch of too much wind. It is pretty windy. Good, thanks, Nat. Nat, I got your email. I'll respond to you tonight after class, but that's amazing. I can definitely send you some info on that. And you can always invite anybody to join us here, of course, for sure. Okay, thanks, Ari. I was actually turning the mic on and off, so maybe that's why you're getting the in and the out. So now we are on. And again, if it becomes too distracting during the practice, go ahead and somebody type into the live chat. I'll take a peek here and there. Hi, Emily. Good evening. And thank you for your email. Really appreciated that. I'm glad you're enjoying the practice. welcome everybody. If you're still getting settled, make sure you have your yoga block or your blanket or pillows, whatever you've been using as your stack and to support you in the postures. Hey Biz, good evening. Welcome back. All right, so I've got the playlist queued up on earbuds. And let's do a mindfulness meditation here before we get started. And you're welcome to join me. Upright seated position. Hey Derek, notice if your seated position has evolved since we've started introducing the mindfulness meditation. And you can play with that. If you're used to sitting one way, switch it up. Explore the lightness in the stack of your spine, head above your heart. And if you're joining, the basis is you've got to use the mind to focus. So focus and mind are directly connected. So whether it's turning your awareness and your focus to your breath and flow, or observing the air coming in and out of your body in a detox, you're using your mind. So there should never be this concept. I don't understand where it comes from with people thinking that they have to, be out of their mind and slow down their mind or do anything to their mind when they're meditating. It just doesn't make sense. Meditation, the benefit of is for your mental state. Same thing with flow. The benefit of flow is for your mental state. And we're just putting ourselves into a physical regime, if you will. And so it's all there to utilize the mind, see the mind, observe the mind, and get to know the mind. It's all for the mind. Okay, so welcome back. Head above your heart. Hi, Christine. And then you can go ahead and close your eyes. Take one breath and observe that breath as you're drawing it in. And observe the breath as you're letting it out. Close the eyes, relax the jaw. And continue to flow with this mode of observation and lightness, hopefully. If you do feel something in your body, allow yourself to feel it without fidgeting or drawing yourself away from it in any way. Let it be a part of your experience and your reality. It's part of your five senses, that which makes up your reality. And you'll feel the effects in the space of a seated mindful meditation, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, you're really not attached to time. So if you're doing this on your own, you could always just set your timer on your phone. And that way you're not computing and calculating with your mind how long you've been there. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, open your eyes. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You feel it. So welcome, everybody. If you're not yet seated, please make your way into a comfortable seated position. Yeah, they're cross-legged. You could put a stack underneath your bum. Hi, Ren. Oh, that's very exciting, Emily. Hi, Roz. First detox practice with an actual block. It's like meeting your best friend when you haven't seen them in a year. So once you're seated and you're sitting on your block or your stack, could be pillows and blankets. And we're going to start with a little lateral, a side body stretch in more of a passive way. So take your left hand and place it down onto your mat. Notice how that already brings you over and to one side with your torso. And then take your right arm up. Place the hand on the top but the back half of your head. That way it's like you're cupping the crown of your head. And then that way when you elevate your chin ever so slightly, right, your hand's there to catch you. The left arm is your kickstand. Definitely you'll feel this in your ribs. You might feel this in your chest. If you need to make any adjustments, please do so. And then you're welcome to close your eyes. Make sure you're not fighting gravity and holding on with strength and muscles. And let your bum be heavy and your left arm your kickstand. And the rest will take care of itself. You notice if you have any tightness through the muscles in your face, and one by one you can scan and consciously release those muscles. And so your body has this shape-shifting ability, and really from an active state into a passive state. It may feel like the shape has completely changed. And think about it, energy that you're gripping and holding on to versus energy that is allowed to flow and kind of meander. It'd be like getting lost in the woods and just roaming around. If this is one of your first few detox classes, the breath is kept natural. And so there's no manipulation of the breath. It's an involuntary function of your body, and that's what you can observe as you remain still or in the position, feeling the sensations, watching the mind. And see what happens when you are with a position longer than you're used to. Or if there is considerable amount of discomfort and you end up staying. And the key is to observe what your mind does while you're uncomfortable. And so you build this confidence and to, kind of stand in your place and ultimately realize your space and to remain calm, stay patient. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed, feeling this right side. Let's slowly start to come back up to center. And your right hand, left hand come down onto your knees. And now it might feel like you're kind of tipping over to the right, so and draw center with your eyes closed. And we'll take a minute here just to watch this flow, kind of the visual of getting lost in the woods tonight. If you can take your practice there, it could be pretty sweet. Get lost in the woods. In your seat, take a deeper breath in. Open mouth, soft sigh, exhale. You can open your eyes. And come back into the space, and then we'll set it up from the other side. And so take your right hand down onto the mat, and that's already going to draw you over to the right a little bit. And you can always adjust the hand if your arm isn't long enough and it feels quite wonky, then put some of your stack underneath your hand. But hand down and gets you moving to the right. Hand up and take it to the top and the back half of your head. And once you find it, as you start to meet these sensations in your chest cavity and possibly even into your hips, hopefully into your side body and your shoulder, and they're not jarring adjustments, but gentle, subtle adjustments as you know you're going to be here for a while. That's really the one thing that is that you're going to be on the mat for a while. Besides that, you can let go of the relevance of time. It's not important for you to track how long you're in the poses. And it's most important that you continue to explore your experience in the space that is being held for you and based on you coming to your mat. And so as you get settled here, you're welcome to close your eyes and watch the mind, watch the breath. It's quite likely that some of you have never done or put your body in this position before in your entire life. So how cool is that if you find yourself, in the routine of your practice and yet still discovering things that you've never done before? And that really plays out even if there's subtle variations. Obviously, the experience is always going to be unique, the intersection of where you're at and the energy flowing into the moment and where we exist. But even the subtle differences as the body continues to expand and contract, sometimes contract and contract, and other times expand and expand. You might really be feeling this one if you're pretty sore in your shoulders and your back from your flow practice. So realize the beautiful relationship between your flow practice and your detox practice. If you're curious about balance, this is a great way to come by it. And keep your eyes closed and go ahead and slowly bring your way back to center. And then you can bring both hands back onto your knees. It feels like you're kind of being pushed over towards the left. But feel this down your midline. And we take a minute here. It's nice to realize interpretation of a minute can feel drastically different in this practice. Great. Take a deep breath in. Open your eyes. And let's come off the stack slowly and release the legs. Make your way onto all fours so that you're facing the top of your mat. And once you get onto all fours, it may feel nice to extend one leg back. Keep your toes on the ground. And let the flow come back through your knees. And hopefully some stress or what you're holding on to in your belly is letting go. Bring your right knee down, or switch and to extend the other leg back. All right. right, bring both knees back and then separate your knees so they're mat width distance apart. And bring your hips back halfway. And then we're going to thread the needle. So your left arm goes underneath your right armpit. And you're sliding your left hand off your mat. You slide your right hand forward toward the top of your mat. And then you can let your hips come all the way back, and then your head settles down, chin turning to the right. If you need to make an adjustment for your shoulder, you can always lift your hips an inch or two, and then go ahead and start to release the weight of the upper body down into your left side. You might feel the breath get a little choppy in the transition, and then it'll smooth out as you begin to settle and release your core. Your hip increases will flex. Your bum can expand, your low back can expand. And let's get heavy here. And keep your hips heavy as you relax your jaw. And let yourself fall completely onto your left shoulder, compressing into the left side of your chest. And see if you allow it to. And the compression might get a little bit deeper as you release more of your muscles. And let the weight come down and close into the joint.
See if you can explore these transitions tonight with your eyes closed. Slide your right hand back. You start to press the mat away, and then you can bring your left arm back out. Should feel different than when you started, and make your way up to all fours, and your head can remain heavy. And relax the head, let your belly fall away from your spine, and your tailbone tilts up. So it's like a cat lower back, or a cow lower back for that matter. It's extended. And let's go ahead and let the hips come back halfway. Take your right arm across the mat underneath your left armpit. Thread the needle. As you come down onto your right shoulder, turn your chin to the left. And slide your left arm out in front. If you need to reset, you shouldn't feel anything sharp shooting or pinching. You'll definitely feel the contraction in the inside of the shoulder, the compression there, and the expansion around your anterior serratus, all the muscles you used in the twisting practice this morning. But nothing sharp shooting or painful. Make little adjustments if you need to, and then begin to settle in the shape. Detox is a great practice, and where you may have moments of realization while you're in the practice. And a simple example, and your attachments may had you thinking your life was about something, and then as you sit in your detox, you realize that your life is not necessarily attached to that something, and there may be much more to it. And it's really interesting to see how the individual mind defines life and gives life its relevance. You being the active participant in that definition, if you only see it through your lens, if you start to explore and expand and exercise in philosophy and curiosity and find yourself in meaningful connections and relationships, and where you're asking questions, then and perhaps there's some evolution and that is taking place. impart an opportunity that we're all being blessed with right now is to rewire our brains. If our brains have been wired based on the pace of our lives and the things that we've done up to this point, well, we're all doing something in a way that we've never done it before. And so you guys are all realizing it, I'm sure. The possibility of rewiring your brain, the way you see yourself and the way we see each other. And so please know that there is absolutely no rush into this process, and there's no expectation either. You can go ahead and start to slide your left hand back a little bit. You can keep the head heavy, eyes can be closed as you start to slide your right arm out. You make your way back to all fours. And let your belly drop and your tailbone lift. And let's balance this out for the shoulders. So bring your knees back together. If you need your block or your stack in between your feet, go ahead and place it. Otherwise, sit right back onto your heels. And once you're in your upright seated position on your shins, and put your arms up, cactus your arms, make soft fists with your hands, lower your chin, and then bring your knuckles together behind your back. And so we're going to open up what we were just compressing in the front of your deltoids, and a pressure point where your chest muscle and pectoral muscles in your chest. You meet the trap muscles in your neck, and the front of your shoulder muscles, your deltoids. So knuckles together. And we're just letting the gaze slide forward. And shoulders. And drop down as much as they can. And it's a simple connection of the knuckles. You're not driving and forcing and pressing the knuckles together. Okay, this should be enough. Now let's turn our awareness from the inside. Close your eyes. And watch your breath coming in, going out, and any sensations that you're receiving across the chest. And let's just say it's not easy to sit in an open heart, whether you're doing yoga, even if yoga is your best friend. It's not the easiest thing to sit with an open heart. Certainly not when we're distracted and so just give yourself the space, and by remaining in the shape. And this is a pose where you might have thoughts about it in the first minute, and then by the third minute you're having complete opposite thoughts, and possibly even an appreciation for being in the sensation tonight.
It's great if you're getting some tingles in your toes. You're getting these secondary benefits and circulating a lot of flow through your legs tonight, even though your primary focus thus far has been the area around the shoulder and the neck, your side bodies and your rib cage. Let's fill and feel the breath in the chest. Take 3 breaths. Deep inhales, and out of the mouth you can sigh the exhale. And let your chin come towards your chest. And your hands can slide down and release the fists. Feel your arms by your sides and just let them hang heavy, and so your shoulders drop. And it's like your heart just melted. Like a piece of chocolate sitting in the sun. And just like that, you can feel and trust the evolution of space, the lightness as you bring your eyes back into your room. And then we'll come forward onto your hands, and hips come off of your heels, and then feel that energy come back into your legs. And let's bring your stack out to the front of your mat. And so if it's a block on the second height. And then we're going to step your right foot forward to the outside of your stack. And stagger your stance wider so your left knee draws out wider. If you want a double pad or put a pillow or a towel underneath your left knee, you can do that. You make some space. This will give you more of an opportunity and to eventually get down onto the ground, but we can start on the hands or start with your forearms on your block or on your stack. It can feel nice to interlace your fingers. And it's just going to kind of hold your hands in place there. You're not squeezing or gripping. But that'll set the hands, and the hips can get heavy. And let your head drop. And it's all for your mind, everybody. Flow, detox, any style of yoga, it's all for your mind.
For the second half of this pose, you're welcome to stay on your forearms on your stack, or you can slide your stack out and let your forearms come all the way down onto your mat. And say about 1 more minute on this side, please. You can flutter your lips to relax your jaw if it's really tight. Here, let out a sigh. Alright, go slow. Start to make your way back up to your hands. Hey, this one can be a shaker. You might feel the trembles. As you come back to your hands, relax your jaw. And then start to slide your hips and your right foot back behind you. You might get a warming sensation, we'll say, into your right hip. Okay, to let this one go, come down onto your right elbow, turn your forearm across the mat, and then straighten your right leg so you're on the outer right hip. And let your left leg stack on top of the right. And kick down through your heels. And let your right ribs fall down, and then your head you can tilt so your left ear is towards your left shoulder. You're kind of looking and straight out in front of you. And we'll just be here for a minute in the rebound. All right, take your gaze down
A little draw of your belly, roll into your left hand, then make your way back up to all fours, please. When you get up to all fours, bring your stack back out in front. So put your block back on your mat. And then let's set it up. Bring your left foot to the outside of your stack. Broaden your stance. Take your right knee a little wider towards the edge. And then slide your right knee back. And you could always put an extra little pad folding up your mat, or use a towel or a pillow. And take a breath and then just go with your exhale. So you're not even thinking about it. And come down onto your forearms, onto your stack. And like cross, interlace your fingers and your thumbs. And let's start to release the belly, release the head. And of course, you're welcome to stay if you'd like to. And take your forearms down onto the mat for the second half. Slide your stack out in front. Feel the exhale and come down onto your elbows so you're not even thinking about it. And it's pretty cool when you can exist with your mind and notice that you're not thinking, you're not processing. When you're using it and you're observing, and the breath is going to layer in a different state in relationship to your central nervous system. And hopefully this guides us into a moment or two of calm and peace. But again, no expectations.
And keep letting your body go here last minute. And move slowly, mindfully, please. Start to make your way back to your hands. Feel it, feel it, feel it. And then hips and left foot can slide back. Notice first on all fours and whatever feelings you're getting through your left hip in the crease, and then we're going to come down onto your left elbow and turn on to the side of your hip and let your left leg go straight, and then your right leg straight and stacks on top. And you can always move your elbow forward a little bit, and then your head is up, so you're pretty much gazing straight out in front of you. And the bottom ribs fall. All right, everybody, soften your chin, use your right hand, and then start to press your way up to a seat so that you're facing the side edge of your mat. And we'll set up like butterfly legs, soles of your feet together, and let your knees fall apart. You can hold on to your ankles or shins and to assist the lift and lengthen your spine, shoulders down, and gently rock your head side to side a few times. And then let your head come back to center. Keep the diamond shape with your legs, but slide your heels away from you a little bit. And take your left arm behind your left leg. And then take your right arm, so you're coming from the inside. And then right arm behind your right leg. And turn your palms down. You might need to rock and walk your sitting bones back a couple times. And this is the beauty of realizing sequence and process and space and within ourselves. This should all make sense, just like life. When you're living in sequence and you're listening intuitively and connected to your practice,
And it all feels like it's right where it's supposed to be. Let's let the head come down and chin curls into your chest. Soften your belly as much as you can. And relax the shoulders and the muscles in the neck, and the forehead and the muscles around your eyes, and cheeks and the muscles inside the back of your jaw. And you might be getting a whole lot of feelings here. And then feelings and moments of memories and things rising to your mind. They're working their way out of your body and letting you see them one more time. And so that while you're in your practice, you can observe a breath with it and let it go. You definitely keep your eyes closed in this transition. You start to slide your right arm back out. And then slide your left arm out. And keep your chin low into your chest, hands to your outer knees. And go ahead and bring your knees up to touch. And take your arms around your shins and then let your forehead come down towards your knees. And if you can, through the transition, keep your eyes closed and just turn your feet out to the right. Lie down onto your back, please. And sense the inner being and the expansion and the openness of your heart. Remember, not an easy practice, and to live with an open heart seems easy enough. And you may even have thought that you were doing it until you're on your mat and you realize, oh, maybe I wasn't doing it. And now I feel something, and that translated meaning starts to open up another piece of myself. And so let's lie down, feel the earth support you underneath the good work and space you've done for your shoulders tonight. And release across your belly, from your hip creases, your inner thighs. And feel that flow all the way through your knees into the tops of your feet. Relax your toes. Let your big toes fall away from each other. And you can explore and see what this feeling and what this practice is offering you tonight. And you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to do anything with it. Once you start practicing with this consistency as we're on our mats twice a day, even if you're just hitting it once a day, but with this frequency, it's going to start to exist in the background, like an adaptogen is going to have an effect physically and ultimately into your mind on a regular basis with you every moment. And what that is to you is personal. It's a personal practice. The development is exciting. In the moments of anguish and sometimes when your heart hurts and your body is aching, it's exciting. I guess we just need that perspective and share, and to know that it's okay to break down. It's okay to revisit a memory and have that opportunity to take a breath with it and to let it go, good or bad. You're not standing in place. This energy is abundant. So I want to thank you all for charging yourselves tonight. It's like you plugged yourself into the outlet. And certainly we can experience this charge until we meet our mats again tomorrow morning. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your evening and take care of yourselves. Let this pace slow you down even more. Have a beautiful night, everybody. Namaste.